How you guys, looking out with the firefighters? Is it one of them's wrapped up, the other one's not or something, or?
Yeah, supervisors are ratified, the other one is opposed.
Okay, so, go on record.
Yep. September the 30th, 2014, this is a collective bargaining session between Pasco County and the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, local number 79. I'm Jim Sherrill.
Oh, this one?
And representing the union is myself, John Schultes.
Frank Building Utilities.
Thomas Longman, please.
Doug Heck Utilities.
Ed Seizik, Utilities.
Jim Boucher, Transportation.
Okay, I guess that's everybody. So we're, gonna hopefully get this thing resolved today, you know.
As you know, the board adopted the budget, adopted the Cody's study recommendations in its entirety. So the budget process is concluded.
Okay. So, as far as the, to get on record, the county's response to our proposals regarding the increase in the living wage, was it $9.64?
$9.64 an hour.
$15.
That's rejected. That proposal is rejected.
And the other issue was the seniority. Right? I mean, that's pretty much the two. Well,
Wages, we have not TA'd on.
wages, seniority, duration,
What do you need at work?
12-minute work. What is the county's position on retroactivity? I mean, because tomorrow's the first, right?
Right, if we were to reach an agreement today, I assume it would take you a couple weeks to get it ratified, to submit it for ratification.
That sounds about right. And
So that would, we would be on a pattern to get it to a board meeting.
Let's see. Is- There's a board meeting, I believe, on the 21st.
So,
There's one on the 7th, so 21st. So
Any-
if you had it ratified, say by the 17th, I could.
17th of October, right?
Right,
Yeah.
I could get it on for the 21st.
and if both ratified, the pay period that it could take effect would be the
Well, that paycheck
the paycheck, the
would
24th.
be the 24th, because I can have my staff be working on it and just hold it if it's not ratified, you know, not send it to payroll.
So if it's ratified by the 17th, they can see it in the check on the 24th, is it?
That's what, you know. And effective on the 5th, which is the first full pay period.
You said 5th?
Yeah,
That's the first bid period in October, I guess.
yeah, that's the date we have in here.
Let's just go to that language in our proposal for a second on the wage, which is Article 49. the language we had given you, I think, if you look at the last paragraph, it says this.
I'm sorry, what
Oh,
page?
Page 40, I'm sorry, Article 49, page, on my version, page 52, but,
It's the one with red.
yeah,
Yeah, it's around 51, 52.
yeah, I'll just go by the article number. I don't know if my printout the same.
You know what, I don't even have 4 pages on that.
Oh, yeah. Well, just look for the end
Page
of,
40, man.
the end of
40,
Article.
yeah, 40 in the last version we handed you. It would be 50, I think 50,
I mean, I only have, for some reason,
Look
page
at
40.
the articles.
It
Article
goes up to page
49.
27, I'm missing half the document, I think. Okay, this is the one from 9/16.
Did you print the one that Barbara sent you?
Yeah. And I printed a whole thing, and it stops at page 27, so I know, the copier doesn't typically run out of paper. For some reason.
Let me share mine with you for a second then. All right, so what I'm referring to,
I mean, I do have a previous version.
yeah, but if you just compare it. So if you look at, what I'm referring to is the last paragraph that says, this
This proposal.
proposal is contingent upon, I think we could delete that because it's now been approved. This was in anticipation,
Mhm.
so I think this could come out.
We have inserted a sentence in the middle of that, and okay, right here, it's implementation, so that's still there, that describes the one-time adjustment. So everything else is the same?
Yeah, do you have, I can't tell when this was added or not. This is print.
No, I don't have step 2.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry, item 3 says, mine says if an employee is hourly rate up to step 1 or 2, so the new version says.
So go to 3, after step 1 and 2.
They were originally out of order.
Can you just print this?
Sure.
To the-
Yeah, we get a couple copies of this. So it's no longer needed.
What is the impact of these changes from the original one? Is it just cleanup or what you described as being?
Well, that paragraph talks about if the board,
Well, I understand that, but this other one in item 3.
It was out of order.
Yeah,
That's
the
the right-
sequence of the
The
steps.
right order is, first you go to the bottom of the range, then the 964, then the 1 to 5%. It's that.
So someone could make less than 964?
No.
Okay.
If
So go to the
if-
bottom of the range. I thought you said-
Then you go to 964 if you're not at that. Then you add 1 to 5%.
Okay, all these
So that-
steps happen
that-
simultaneously. Okay, I
Yeah,
thought you
One
were
after
saying-
another, not simultaneously, in that order. And that's.
In that order, but
gives
at the same time? I mean, I'm just saying you don't have to wait a year.
No, it'll be
No,
implemented at
it's
the
not.
same.
It's a same effective date.
Yeah.
It might be, we're trying to work
Okay,
it
not at the
out, it
same
might
time, not
be,
simultaneously, but on the same day. at the same-
right.
Good.
But this order is actually, the employee gets more money this way.
Because they're getting a percentage increase above the 964. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, if you can just print copies of that.
I was, yeah. Red light flash. Here's a few of them.
This is what I have. Guys, I suggest you put the date on the top right hand. Excuse me.
It's 2 pages.
Yes, sir. One. One short.
Yeah.
You got that line, I don't think you got one.
Yeah, I think we own it.
It's the same one we've been talking about,
It's changed.
not since we last met.
It's changed since the last proposal that we were signing off and TAing on 8.2 and 9. And regardless, it's new language, we haven't seen it. All right, so we'll, take a closer look at this and break. The only thing you're saying has changed is just the removal of that one thing that's contingent upon the budget, and then that there's, that the 964 employees will receive an increase of either 1% or 5% after their pay is raised to 964.
Mhm.
Or they're moved to, if they started at 964 or above, if they move to meet the bottom of the range, which is number 1.
All right, so anybody who's beneath the Cody minimum range
Gets,
hits the range first, then gets an increase.
yeah, so they get the percentage increase on the new amount.
All right, did you have a, something different on seniority?
One sentence. And there it is.
All factors being equal?
Mhm. That's it.
That's Article 19. Everybody's keeping track of it.
Well, the only confusing part is, in my mind, Section 3 seniority benefit says that job assignments which have a locational component and job assignment has traditionally been bid seniority. I don't know if there's a word missing there or not. Maybe bid on seniority, bid by seniority.
Has been bid, comma, I think it's a punctuation issue.
I've been bid, okay, comma, seniority is a factor that must be taken into consideration, but it's not the deciding factor. And then we have a new sentence that says, all factors being equal, management will make an effort to assign job locations as close to their residence as possible. So that applies to jobs that are not bid.
Yes.
So jobs that are bid, they're still bid by seniority.
Yeah, right.
But the ones that are not bid, it'll
It's
be
not seniority, it's by location. Proximity to residence.
all factors being equal, though, I mean, I'm just trying to get a complete definition of this because I know I'm gonna be asked, what does it mean? So all factors being equal, does that mean seniority being equal? Or what factors are those being considered?
There's a million factors.
And seniority's one of them, right?
I think it's John, that's a phrase that you've used before when we talked about seniority. You once put it in that context, you said, you know, assuming that all factors are equal, shouldn't seniority control? So whatever you had in mind, I'd say that's probably what we have in mind, that, you know, everything being equal, this would be a controlling factor, that you could get an assignment if you live closer to the place where you work.
Okay, but when I make that statement, all things being equal, it's considering everything else other than seniority. And then it's kind of spelling out a provision that says that, listen, everything other than seniority, if everything's equal, then seniority will be a governing factor. So this one doesn't say anything about seniority, even though it falls in a seniority article. And this one says all factors being equal, it depends on how close you live to the job. So my question is, where does seniority fall in that? It's not the same thing that I say. It doesn't have the same meaning of what I propose, because if seniority is one of those factors, that's great. So all things are considered equal, well, factors being equal. And again, I'm just trying to have an understanding of it. So when we have two people that are vying for a job assignment, you know, who gets the job, well, all things are considered equal. When we say, well, how can you say all things are considered equal? Then in 20 years, this guy's been here for a year.
Seniority is not a factor, if that helps explain it.
Okay.
Because the previous part of this article talks about the fact that seniority is limited to these two very specific circumstances.
All right.
I mean, but if it's too difficult a concept, you know, in the all factors being equal part of it, then we'll withdraw it. If that's what it takes to get this article closed.
Well, I just think when we take a break, I'm just going to come back with a concern of the committee and see if we can reach a meeting of the minds. What's the bargaining unit work? Does anyone know what number that is?
It's number 10.
Just going back to the other thing, I'm trying, by adding that sentence, I was trying to address the issue that has come up where people are punished by going to the other side of the county. You know, it's like, you know, that issue has come up. If that is an issue, then that's a way of addressing it. If you don't feel it's an issue, you know, you can withdraw the sentence, but
No, it has
we
to-
don't,
Yeah.
yeah, so we're,
We got-
I would say our preference is not to have that happen, but, you know, if it is still going on, that's one way of addressing it. So, you know how we feel about seniority, but we're trying to address an issue that has been brought up by adding that. So that's
I mean,
the reasoning is.
That last time, they did the split, but seniority didn't have anything to do with it. All those little collection licenses and stuff like that I was telling you about. So I think it'd be good to keep it. So when they do it again, you know they'll do it again. Seniority plays, it can be different, because that's who most people that were pissed off, was people with seniority had no say at all. They got shipped out.
Yeah, I mean, it falls after, it's listed under the seniority benefit section of the seniority article. And, you know, and like Jim just said, prior to that, it lists two considering factors that seniority will have a play on. One is layoffs, and the other one's job assignments that have traditionally been bid. And then it goes on to say that you can't, for some reason, the employee seniority is not a deciding factor. The county's going to articulate it, although we can't grieve it. Which means we got to just accept it for what it is. And then after all that, then it says, the new sentence says, all factors being equal, management make an effort to assign job locations as close to the residents as possible. So if the complaint is that supervisor, whatever his name is, doesn't like me, then I'm gonna get sent over to the other side of the county to make my life miserable because he knows that that's not what I like, and I'm being punished for it. I'm gonna drive up my fuel consumption bill or whatever. So, I mean, that's the concern, that you think this is addresses where if someone was told, listen, starting next Monday, you're gonna have to report to Dade City when the guy lives in
Mhm.
Newport Richey.
Now, if it fits better someplace else, then, you know, we don't have any problem with that.
I even had people from the labs approach me about that because it was split thing. It wasn't just utilities, it was the labs too, because they're fixing it to make a move, so a lot of people
The
are
lab is
concerned.
all in one spot.
Now, but I guess they're fixing to move.
Well, if they move,
Yeah, I'm
if
just
the whole
saying-
lab moves.
Yeah, I'm just saying they
it's-
were concerned about it. I'm just saying it wasn't just
Yeah.
utilities, but the whole lab.
Yeah,
was-
but if
But I
because I
also-
know utilities is building a building in Land O'Lakes.
But I
So
also
if
told
the
them that
whole office
sometimes,
moves, that doesn't.
You know, they've been, letting people use their county
Well-
vehicles too, to shoot back and forth.
Let me make this easy, because you have two issues with it. First, it sounds like you don't like the way it's phrased with the beginning part, all factors being equal. And then the other issue is where it's located in the collective bargaining agreement. So to facilitate closing out Article 19, we'll withdraw this language that we've offered here. After we take a break, why don't you discuss, if you're interested in the language, management will make an effort to assign job assignments. Because the all factors being equal language is problematic. You tell us where you want to put it, and we'll respond to that counter proposal on it. Our proposal on Article 10 is to maintain the status quo language.
And the duration, it was just, this is a matter we can't write it until we know when it begins and when it ends, right?
Well, our proposal is it takes effect on ratification, which is consistent with the statute, and it ends September the 30th, 2015.
Yeah, and like I said, I wasn't too opposed. I'd rather have a multi-year agreement, but, the only thing that, I was just leaving it open until we kind of got everything else, kind of sorted out. All right, and then, I guess that's it, those are four. So let's just take a break and, call you when we're ready. Are you gonna be back in the same office?
Yeah, we'll go over to the break area.
Yeah.
Well, if you haven't had a chance to look into that operator stuff, I sent you an email about.
Oh, Monroe? Yeah, I started to, but I did not finish.
And I have the names of the
don't-
other two leads, if you need those names, I can get them to you.
Well, I thought the issue was why he
Didn't
didn't have a,
Probation.
yeah. So far, I can't figure out why, so could be just.
Yeah,
my
because
mistake.
it's, it's causing quite a little bit of a riff over there because we've had leads that have to go on probation voluntarily, and that was it.
When they took it to motion?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not sure, something we can fix. I mean, you guys brought it up so far after the fact.
Well,
But I
it was
guess
just brought
we
to my
can-
attention, it was one of those, I think they stewed, because, I don't know all the inner workings, but once, like I told you, I was approached by a couple of operators and a manager, and then I brought it to your attention. As soon as they let me know, I'll let you know.
Okay,